All right, we're live. Let me see. Let me check these audio levels. I think the last time when I did stream number 6, I forgot to play the music, which is not a big deal. I don't really need it. Seems like I'm peaking a bit. Is that too loud? Okay, anyway, so let's start. So the beginning of these live streams is actually for the people who miss the stream live and they're probably watching the recording. So the plan with these live streams is I've decided to do 2 a month. So I should have one more this month, which will probably be Saturday, July 31st, which will be the last day of the month. I'll have to kind of cram that last live stream in. But I'm hoping to continue up with this trend of doing 2 live streams per month and sort of just talking about whatever random thoughts and ideas are on my mind. And I use this as a way to kind of break down my thoughts and articulate what I've been thinking about recently. And then hopefully as people come into the stream, we can get into the Ask Me Anything section, which generally has been a lot of fun. I enjoy that actually the most, is communicating with you guys and hearing your thoughts and opinions on various topics. But usually I find that it usually takes around the 1 hour mark where people tend to kind of fall in with the questions. So I do enjoy this beginning hour where I kind of am just streaming to myself and I can just rant on various things. And another big reason why I do these live streams is that they're extremely difficult. Like compared to making my normal YouTube videos where I can sort of, script out my ideas and do a lot of research into various topics, and give a well thought out explanation on various things. Whereas this, I'm just battling with my mind and trying to work out my thoughts and, figure out things that I believe in, figure out things that I agree with or disagree with, and, all that kind of stuff. And I think this is very important because especially for any other content creators, like if you're watching this and you are a fellow content creator who aspires to be a YouTuber or some sort of creator, it's very important that you do things that make you struggle. And this is something that really makes me struggle. And it's sort of like, if you keep doing things that are difficult and you keep doing things that you're not good at, all of your weaknesses will eventually turn into strengths. And this will just make you better as a whole as a content creator. Now, of course, I can kind of just take the easy way out and, just stick with creating YouTube videos and not have to do any of this stuff. But, that's not my vision for all of this. My vision and my goal with content creation is to become the best possible storyteller I can be, the best possible filmmaker. And if I don't do these things that kind of make me suffer, then I'm never going to reach that goal of becoming the best version of myself, right? And this goes for my podcast as well, which is again another thing that I do in my spare time. And that is also very difficult. And for anyone that watches or listens to my podcast, I have about 20 episodes now, and I've been doing it for about a year. And all the conversations I've had are completely unscripted, completely unprepared. There's no dialogue or topic that me and my guest, think about beforehand or break down. It's just completely out on a whim. And a lot of the time, the guests that I have on are people that I've never talked to in my life. So I have no idea what their interests are or beliefs or any of that type of stuff, right? It's like meeting a brand new person for the first time. And something about that, I really enjoy it. And I kind of embrace that challenge, sort of just like this whole live streaming stuff. So the topic for today is going to be back from vacation. I actually had a week off from work this week, which I haven't had in probably over a year. I haven't had like a solid 9 days off. Yeah, I'd say since maybe the beginning of 2020 or 2019. Hey, Jakey, what's going on? Since you're the first person here, is that my audio levels and everything good? Let me know if anything seems too loud or... Oh yeah, also I purchased the capture card. So I'm streaming this through my Sony camera, but it's not through USB anymore. It's through HDMI. So hopefully the quality of the live stream is a lot better than the previous ones. Again, this is something that I'm just slowly working on from time to time. But anyways, as I was saying, so sounds good to me. All right, perfect. So yeah, so as I was saying, I had a week off. I booked a week off from vacation from work. And I went up north to see my parents. And again, this was something that I really wanted to do for so long. And it has been a complete pain because of the whole pandemic and all that. Hey, Forrest. How you doing? Forrest, you're 7 for 7. I wish these YouTube streams had like those Twitch streaks or whatever. It looks a lot smoother and crisper than the Twitch stream. Okay, that's good. Yeah, because before when I used the USB, even when I used the correct shutter speed, like when I would move, it'd be kind of jittery. And I could never fix that quality, no matter what lens or camera body or software that I used. It didn't matter if I used OBS or Streamlabs OBS. There was still like this weird choppy frame rate that was going on. So I figured, okay, you know, I might as well just try to buy a capture card and see if it does anything. So this is not even an Elgato. It's like a $15 cheap Amazon capture card, so I have no idea if it was even going to work, but that's good to hear if the stream is a lot smoother. I don't know if that's good or bad. I always appreciate talking to you, Forrest. Are you going for any hikes this weekend? I actually went on 2 awesome hikes this past week on my vacation. And I was fortunate enough to document most of the hikes. So I have some really cool footage for my next video coming out, which I think is going to be, let me see. I'm thinking the 20th, so next Tuesday, that should be out. I've had about a good 8 days or so to edit that video, and by the time Tuesday comes, it'll be like 10 days, so... Yeah, I'm super excited for that video. It's sort of documented some of the things that I did while I was on vacation. And for me, I guess the way I define vacation is spending time doing things that I love. So even though it might seem like I'm still working, like I took vacation time off of work and I still went out and made YouTube videos for this channel. I was still filming and practicing my photography. But these are things that like I love to do. Like if I didn't have a job, or if I didn't need money, or I didn't have any responsibilities, videography and photography was something that I would still do in my spare time. It's something I do on the weekends. So I know that some people say like, oh, you should take a break from content creation when you go on vacation, you know, actually go on vacation. But for me, it's like, you know, I just thoroughly love and enjoy videography so much that, you know, capturing those moments while on vacation is just so much fun. It just doesn't even seem like work for me at all. The plan was to leave in about 40 minutes. It's okay for us to do whatever you gotta do. I'm always happy when you stop by and say hello. Hey, Narav, what's up, man? Hey, dropping by to say hi. How you doing, Narav? How's the... You finished your exams yet? What time is it in India? Time in India. Let's see. 9:45. Okay, so it's the evening in India. And time in Kosovo. 6:15. Okay, so it's the evening for you guys. Yeah, thanks for dropping by, Narav. We have to redo that podcast whenever you have time. Whenever you finish all your schoolwork. Yes, I passed 2 papers. Oh, nice. See, that's something that I fully respect, is when, you know, people make it through post-secondary education and finish something like university or college, you know, because I know how difficult that journey is and how disciplined you have to be to study and do all your homework and all that type of stuff, because it's something that I was never able to do. So I don't know what to do since these floods are happening here too. Oh wow, you're having the floods there too? Yeah, we had, was it like a, not a tornado. Was it a tornado? Or hurricane? There was like minor tornado, hurricane, rain and wind storm or something going on here. And sort of north of Toronto, a couple cities got hit pretty bad. And this is, like, this type of stuff doesn't happen really in Canada. Like, we don't have earthquakes or tsunamis or any of this crazy stuff. So I don't know. I guess the weather right now in the world is getting pretty crazy. But how bad are the floods? Well, I'm interested. I'm just gonna Google floods. Wow, leaves thousands without power and drinking water. Raging waters brought down 2 bridges in southern Kosovo and left around 14 families isolated in a hamlet in the north. Police said there were no deaths so far. Kosovo's weather authorities said the country is bracing for more heavy rains in the days ahead. Oh man. The videos have been so good recently. I have been watching closely the edits or class. Hey, thanks, Narav. Actually, the last 2 videos, I wasn't really that happy with. The first one, where I was up north sitting on a bench in the forest, I sort of liked how that turned out, but that thing was a nightmare. It was a nightmare to film because, like, when you're outside and the sun keeps like peering in and out through the clouds, and it kept like ruining my exposure of my shot. And then there's all kinds of random noises and leaves and chipmunks and stuff in the background, so my audio was like going all crazy. So at first I didn't want to post that video because I was like, man, like the audio and the video got ruined. But I figured, okay, what's a creative way that I could go about turning this video into something that's watchable? So what I did is I took the one long thought that I had, I think it was like 15 minutes or 18 minutes or something, like I'm just sitting there just rambling about a bunch of stuff. And the times where the sun came out of the clouds and overexposed my face, I would put like B-roll clips on top of it to like kind of hide it. So that's why it's sort of like, it's just me sitting there and just one long drawn out clip, right? But then all the parts where the video messed up, that's where I kind of hit it with B-roll shots. And the other good thing too with that is, like, when a squirrel came over and it was like screaming or whatever squirrels do, it just blew out my audio. And then I would just like cut that part out and put B-roll over that as well. So it seemed like the clip was one continuously shot clip, but it was actually like 18 minutes with like 8 minutes chopped out. But I may try to make it seem like one long thing. So I'm glad you like it though. I always embrace the challenge. Short 3-hour hikes are a thing. LOL, my aunt and... Oh, that's cool. You go with your aunt? Yeah, I did a couple hikes with my dad, which is a lot of fun. He's been really into hiking. He has a lot of cool trails by his place too, because he lives up in the middle of nowhere in like this giant forest. So there's lots of great hiking trails by my parents, and a lot of them are remote because there's like hardly any people there. Whereas the ones in Toronto, it's kind of overcrowded. Dude, I think that's the best video for me. Cut through one video. Doesn't Nathaniel does the same thing? One video cut through so many B-rolls and cinematic slow-mos. Yeah, I think you're right. Nathaniel Drew, he does have a couple of videos probably similar to that, but at the same time, you know, he's very creative with how he presents his ideas. Lately, I think he's been doing a lot of like the more talking head thing. But what I've noticed with his videos is usually he has a lav mic attached to like his shirt, I think. And then he just kind of does the same thing, gets all his thoughts out in one continuous clip and then adds his B-roll shots over. So that's probably where I subconsciously received inspiration from. I probably saw him do something similar and not knowingly kind of copied it, because I do draw a lot of inspiration from his videos, and not specifically the topic or subject matter, but I value the creativity that he has and other fellow creators, because you know I don't enjoy the YouTube videos as much where it's just a face. You know, when it's just a talking head, like, I guess it's okay if you're trying to thoroughly explain an idea, but I like adding like drone shots or my B-roll shots from my cell phone or my camera or my GoPro. Like, I like to add all these different types of angles and shots, and I feel like it does a better job at telling a story as a whole rather than, you know, just a talking head, right? But the thing is, those talking head videos, you can probably bang one of those out, like 1 or 2 every week. Like, they're really easy to make, right? It's the constant videography and going out to shoot is what's extremely time consuming, right? And also like the whole like color grading part and sound design, and it's just a lot. But I think it's worth it for me to put in the effort in those smaller details in my videos, because not only do I enjoy it, I think it makes an overall better viewing experience for you guys, and that's what really matters to me, right? Like, I want people to enjoy my work, of course, right? I don't know, but we'll see. But I'm glad that I did post that video though, because in all honesty, I thought it was ruined. That's a problem, especially with shooting outdoors. Like, the sun and clouds can just be, it can just make your whole shoot a nightmare. But at the same time, I shouldn't shy away from those things, right? So anyway, what else were we talking about? Oh yeah, vacation. So when did I, let me see. So I went up north on, I think it was Saturday the 10th, so last week. And I went up there for about 5 days or so. And the weather forecast at first was terrible. It was like thunder and rain and cloudy weather, and it just wasn't nice. So I was a little bit upset because I was like, oh man, finally I have a week off vacation, and like the weather is going to be crappy. Like, oh, it just kind of felt horrible. But when I got up there, we only had one bad day where it rained, and I think the other 4 days were pretty good. So it was more of a relief than anything that when I got up there, you know, I could just go for a hike, which is what I wanted to do, go for a swim, which, you know, I've been dying to do for like a year, because my parents' cottage it's sort of like right on the water, so you can just walk down the hill, and they have like a little dock with a canoe. And the way the shore is there, it's really shallow, maybe about a foot out from the shore. But then after that, it gets like super deep, like super fast. So you can just like run off the dock and jump in head first without having to worry about hitting the ground or hitting the bottom. So that was super fun. And it was also just, you know, getting away from the city, right? And one thing that I've really noticed was being stuck with the lockdown and being stuck inside all the time and just filming in my room or in this office. Creatively, it's extremely difficult. It's really hard for me to, you know, get all those creative juices flowing and try to create videos on, you know, various and differing subjects. I'm just stuck in the same room looking at the same wall, you know, doing the same things all the time. And I wanted to just get out there and just do something, right? I wanted to use my GoPro underwater. I wanted to fly the drone. I wanted to like use one of my lenses that can capture wildlife photography or whatever, right? And the first 3 days that I had off, or no, I think it was the first 2 days, I didn't really touch my camera too much. I was sort of just enjoying the moment, relaxing, catching up with my parents, you know, and just having a good time. But on day 3, that itch, that need to do something with my camera is kind of triggered. And I was so excited to just go out and shoot. And I remember recording, I think it was a squirrel and a chipmunk fighting over some sunflower seeds that we were giving to them. You know, I was just recording them and I was having so much fun. And then out of nowhere, there was almost this explosion, like in my mind, where it was like, poof. And there was just all these ideas that just kept flooding in one after another, after another, and after another. And I brought my laptop and I quickly opened up Google Docs, and I just started writing all these ideas for future videos. And I haven't had one of these creative explosions in a long time. Now, normally I do write daily. I always try to write something every morning. But lately I've been getting a lot of writer's block, where I feel like my ideas are kind of stale and mundane and boring, and I sort of like talk about the same things, right? And like the whole self-development niche, like there's only so much fitness stuff you can kind of go over. There's only so many morning routines you can try, or, you know, productivity methods, or, you know, there's just only so many things you can kind of talk about before it gets kind of stale, right? And I don't want my work to be boring. Like, I want it to be fun. I want to enjoy it. And some of these video ideas that I wrote down, I was thinking about them, and half of them are probably all ideas that wouldn't do well in terms of like views. But then I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't want to always be confined by this YouTube algorithm stuff and how many views I get and how many likes and subscribers. And all of that is kind of annoying, right? Because I'm afraid that if I cater my work just to content that I think will do well, then I'm going to slowly lose the enjoyment of what I'm doing. And, you know, that's the most important thing for me in this whole process. So anyways, I kind of took a few of those ideas and then I extrapolated them, and I went deep and thought of different ways that I could make a video on them. And one of them I'm working on right now, and I don't want to give it away because it's going to come out, like I said, on Tuesday. So it's going to come out in 1, 2, 3 days. So I don't want to give anything away from it, but this video was one of the most enjoyable I've made in a long time. Like, everything about writing some of the ideas to the filming process, even the editing. I was editing this morning for a couple hours, and man, I just loved it. It was it felt so good, and like the video content and the message that I had, it was really resonating with me, and it is really something that, you know, I enjoy doing. And I think you can see, or you will see from the video, you know, like the passion I have for this subject. So I'm gonna cut it there. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but it will come out in a couple of days. So, but yeah. So what else did I do on vacation? What else did we really do? So I came back on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. And that drive isn't nice. Oh man, there's unfortunately only one highway from downtown Toronto, which takes you north up until like the cottage camping area where all the lakes and stuff are. And if there's ever traffic on that highway, it's just horrible, because there's no other routes to get home really. Now normally the drive is like 2 hours, and I'd probably say 40 minutes or so. And I think it took like well over 3 hours. So that was kind of rough. That part sucks. And I was thinking, like, man, when my current car dies, the next car I want to buy is a Tesla for sure. Just I don't know what it is, but if I could just get a car with like autopilot and just sort of just stay in the right lane and just chill there and just go straight for 2.5 hours, like that would make the drive there so much easier and less stressful for me. So that's one thing that was kind of annoying, but you know, it's part of it, right? But after that, unfortunately, I probably won't have any more vacations until maybe next year. I'll probably take a few days off here and there, but nothing crazy. I think this also kind of falls in line with this whole idea of mental health that I was sort of thinking about during the last live stream. I've been trying to put an emphasis on taking care of my own personal mental health whenever I have the opportunity to. And this is something I sort of ignored because like I said in the last stream, like I don't have any mental health issues, so I don't really struggle with anything. But at the same time, I don't think this is something that you should ignore, right? I feel like it's something you should always be working on and be cognizant of, because take my physical health, for example. You know, I'm very meticulous with exercise and my diet and my workout routine and staying consistent with all those things. That, you know, I'm very happy with the amount of discipline and consistency that I've built up, you know, with when it comes to my physical health. But at the same time, if you just focus on that one aspect of your life, then I feel like the other aspects are just going to suffer because due to the lack of attention that you give them. And you know, I was thinking, like, you know, what is my mental health like? Because the worst case scenario for me is, you know, I get some type of crazy anxiety, or I get overworked and I get to that point of burnout. You know, and burnout is that thing as content creators we all fear, right? Because once you hit burnout, you lose that passion, you lose that drive, you lose that work ethic to keep creating and producing content that you love. And you know, I think I need to take that, you know, a lot more seriously, which was kind of why this vacation that I had this week sort of aligned perfectly with this idea of taking care of my mental health, because I had a couple days, you know, to just not think about work, not think about bills or my mortgage or credit cards, or, you know, or any of that type of stuff, right? And it's really nice, to just let all of those things go, and it sort of like let your mental batteries recharge, because that's what it feels like to me. It feels like I just need a couple of days, to not think about all those things and just take them all off my plate, and just relax. And it did wonders for me creatively. And when I did get back home, I had this revitalized work ethic for my work, which was amazing, because you had that burning passion reignite inside almost my soul. And I don't know, that type of stuff, it's really fulfilling. And I want to make sure that, I don't take my mental health for granted. I want to make sure this is something that I'm always working on, and that I'm in a good place, and that I want to maintain. Because maintenance is important, because you don't want to reach that breaking point, right? That point of self-destruction. And even though, like I said, I haven't had any issues, I'm a fairly enthusiastic and happy and content person, but that doesn't mean things can't change, right? Something could happen in your life and it could take a turn for the worse. And if you aren't prepared mentally for that obstacle, right, it can lead to catastrophic results. So this is something that I've been thinking a lot about, and taking more seriously. And I think the whole world, is starting to take notice. This idea of mental well-being, especially nowadays in the news, you hear more and more companies talk about mental health days, right? Or giving their employees these extra floating days where, if you're having a mental crisis, or if you don't feel like coming to work, just take the day off, right? And I think this is a good conversation that a lot of people are having, because especially for men too, right? Like, talking about your mental health and emotions is not like a common thing that like guys talk about. Like, usually, when I get together with my friends, we're talking about basketball or sports or the news, or just, fun things that we're doing or things that we've seen. It's never like, how are you feeling, bro? Like that type of question never comes up. Right? Or at least it doesn't for me, right? And deep down, I know that, my friends will always be there for me, and I'm fortunate to have that and have that confidence in them, right? But I think, at the same time, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? And it doesn't hurt to ask, like, how are you doing? How are things going? How's work? How's your life? And how is this idea of work-life balance present in your lifestyle? And I think this is something that kind of gets overlooked, this idea of work-life balance, right? I've heard people say that it's sort of like, it's a mirage, it's a facade, it's not real, right? There is no real work-life balance. It's either you're dedicated or you're not. But I feel like that concept has some validity, right? And I remember reading this interesting thought from that guy Simon Sinek. Is that how you say his name? Oh, let me double check quick. I don't want to misrepresent. Yeah, Simon Sinek. I think hopefully I'm saying that right. But I think he's like a motivational speaker, writer, author, or something. He has a lot of videos on YouTube. And he was talking about this idea of work-life balance as how, your work and your life, they don't have to be these two opposing forces, right? It doesn't have to mean if you just put all your time into your work, then your life will suffer, and vice versa, right? And he kind of talked about how, there's a way to have balance. There's a way to have both. And I've been thinking about this idea because I spend so much of my time working. And the main reason for that is because where I currently am in my life with my career, my financial status, and what I'm doing, I'm not happy with how far I've gone and how much I've achieved. So my belief is always, if you're unhappy with something, then do something about it, right? It's as simple as that. If something is bothering you, are you actually going to take the action and change it, right? So that's why I put so much of my effort and energy into my work. Hey, Augusto. What's going on, man? How's Brazil? How's life in Brazil right now? Thanks for stopping by during the stream, bro. Wise words as usual. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I'm just kind of going through these thoughts in my mind that I have about work-life balance and, trying to live a more even and balanced life. But how you doing? Doing pretty good. Vacation, uni until... Oh, nice. Wait, so you have all of July off, and then do you go back in August, or do you still have time off in August? Because that's pretty awesome. Wait, when does university start? September? I feel like school here starts in September. Man, it's been so long. That shows my age. How long it's been since I've been in school. Yeah, the semester will start August 2nd. Oh, okay, so that's a Monday. Okay, that's pretty cool. So you have 2 full weeks off. So what are you planning on doing the rest of the month? You going anywhere? Let's see what weather is like in Brazil. See, I love world geography, if you guys can't tell. I just love Googling like different countries and cities and, seeing where they're located and what type of weather they have. And I don't know, I find all that stuff super interesting. Let's see, the weather in Brazil. Ooh, 21 degrees Celsius. I've always had a 50-50 way of living, or zero-centric, zero being the most zen. Oh, okay, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's that idea of, you see, because like 50-50 is nice, right? It's a nice balance. Like you don't want to be, it's like you don't want to be redlining your body to the point of exhaustion, right? Zen is a good way to put it. It's sort of like this idea I've heard of called flow, where you can achieve this state of flow when you have just the right amount of stress, but also the right amount of difficulty. And you can achieve this state of flow if you can kind of balance things out. Because when things are too difficult, you get stressed, right? But when things are not difficult at all, then they become boring, right? And then that's when you become bored and all that kind of stuff kicks in. So you need to have a nice balance. No, actually I got to work on 2 articles I'm writing. Boring though. Oh man. What are you writing on? Yo, Ray. Ray, what's up, man? RR from the north. What's going on, Ray? When's the next barbecue at? You gotta let me know. Living the dream. Oh man, I'll be living the dream once I move. I'm hoping to move. The plan is gonna be in the next 2 years or so. Oh, when it stops raining, yeah. Yeah, so it's raining pretty bad here today. This is actually a perfect day to just sit down inside, relax, and do a live stream. And my ethical pillars are the only absolute things about me. Huh? What is that? Hashtag no Sith? What's that? No Sith. Am I saying that right? Like, do you mean Sith like Star Wars? Ethical pillars are the only absolute things about me. Oh, only the Sith deal in absolutes. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Just articles from my research. I literally can't stand reading and writing about politics and Donald Trump anymore. I want to be dumb again. Oh my god. Oh my god. I literally can't stand reading and writing about politics and Donald Trump anymore. I want to be dumb again. Yeah, what a line. That's hilarious. Oh, that's so funny. Every day feels like day one of my goals. Oh man, for real? What's the long-term goals, Ray? You already got the house, the family, the perfect spot. Is it more career changes? I want to get like a proper office work studio. That's sort of like part of my big dream. Like this room I'm in now, it seems a little bigger than you think it is because I'm using my wide angle lens, so it's kind of like makes it seem like really big. But this room is tiny. Like you can fit a bed in here and it takes up like more than half the entire room. Like it's very small. So part of the reason why I want to move is sort of to just move to a better location. Also so that Tina can have a faster commute to work, which will be nice. But then, I there's one point where I want to make the leap and take the leap of faith and following work that I love, which is this content creation stuff. And it's not going to require a lot of money. I'm not a person that's after an exorbitant amount of money or fancy things. Like I don't really care about that type of stuff, but what I want is, man, I would love to just have like a nice studio, a nice big open space where I can just do my podcast, do this live stream, and create my YouTube videos. And I think that's kind of like the end goal that I have, is to just do these three things. And at first I was kind of trying each one out, just to see what they're like. But I feel like I enjoy all three equally, that maybe these are the three things that I can focus on and not have to just go all in on one single thing, right? And it's like this idea that everyone talks about, how you should always specialize. You should always specialize in your niche, specialize in one specific type of degree or training or career or whatever, right? And then just focus on that one thing. Whereas, I don't know, I sort of enjoy all three of these things, and I want to be able to do them full time. So that's the long-term goal, I think. Deep down, I still want to make comics. Oh, dude, that'd be so cool. Yeah, because your drawing skills, it's like so legit. But it's just hard for you to find the time, right? Especially for people our age, right? It's where you have a family, where you have a mortgage, you have bills and all kinds of stuff. It's really difficult to find the time to do the things that you're passionate about. But that'd be amazing to make like a comic book. Like even for me, like long term, I have a goal. I want to write a book one day. It could be an ebook, or maybe it might be a physical book. But I have a couple ideas of novels that I want to write. But again, it's like it's so hard to find the time to pursue that avenue, right? To pursue that thing. When are we starting our YouTube empire? Hey, Jakey. Bailey Tuesday? Just keep creating, bro. You never know what will happen. The YouTube empire. It would be nice if things were to take off, right? But at the same time, I'm still enjoying the process, and what I love the most about this whole journey is the creation side. And I would be lying if I said that the views don't affect me, because they do, right? You feel good when your work gets a lot of views, or you get a lot of likes or anything. Yes, even like this video. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's a challenge. It's something that I'm trying to embrace and get better at. But if it doesn't take off, that's okay too. But hopefully something will eventually. I'll definitely read it. Oh, cool, Augusto. Well, when I do write it, I'll send it to you guys for free, of course. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure my first couple drafts or versions will just be PDFs, something simple. I know that Amazon, you can upload like a script, and they have like a way of publishing like a book for you, which is kind of crazy. But that's something long term. Will be definitely a long-term project that I want to do later down the lines. Why not start now? Start writing. Yeah, so here's the thing. So I write every morning for at least 1 or 2 hours. Just like when I go to my Google Docs, let me see, I have like hundreds and hundreds of files of just essays and paragraph. Like there's just so much stuff that I've been writing. And the majority of it are just my thoughts and ideas for videos. That's pretty much all it is. But then at the same time, I was like, I would love a way to just take an idea and just deep dive on it, and not just turn it into a 10-minute video, right? But turn it into like a 200-page book or a novel. Like I feel like that would be something that would be so cool. And it would be extremely difficult to do. And I sort of want to embrace that challenge. Amazon, what is that? Wattpad? What's Wattpad? Medium, all these platforms allow you to publish for free. Oh, what is Wattpad? I don't know, I've never heard of that before. Wattpad, where stories live. Wattpad is a website and app for writers to publish new user-generated stories. It aims to create social communities around stories for both amateur and established writers. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Wow, it's based in Toronto. It says headquarters Toronto. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, let me bookmark that webpage. The idea is the big challenge. Yeah, I find this is where it takes time, so much time. Yeah, exactly. It's the time consumption that these projects take it's what's hard. Like if I was 16 or 26 and not 36, then maybe I'd have a lot more time to kind of pursue these things. But at the same time, like when I was 26, I had no interest in writing. I never wrote at all. So Oh, Tina's in the chat. What will you do with your first paycheck over 500 from content creation? Oh, well, that's an interesting question. I never really thought of that. What will you do with your first paycheck over 500 from content creation? Okay, so I got this idea from watching Mr. Beast. And the way Mr. Beast started out his YouTube channel is every dollar that he made from AdSense, from his channel or sponsorships, he just reinvested it back into his company, right? So I feel like 500 would be great if I could, reinvest it in some ways to make, the quality of my videos better, or some aspect of this whole content creation process, if it could just improve. Like if I could figure out what to do with that 500, that I would definitely invest it. I wouldn't spend it on anything extravagant. Like I know a lot of people like, yeah, I got my first YouTube paycheck, I went out and bought some shoes or something. Like I have no interest in materialistic goods. I'm more interested in like if I could purchase a software that would make the streaming quality of this video better, or purchase licensing to more music that I could play, or a program to edit better, like something that I could use to make my work better is what I would use the $500 for. Now, I'm eventually going to get to that point because my YouTube channel did get monetized, and it makes I think it makes $1.50 every day, which is what, $1.50, so it makes $45 in a month, so that's something, right? You can read The Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Conrad to help you build your story and focus on the cover. Readers love pretty book covers. Oh, thanks for the recommendation. Was that Joseph? I'm going to write that down. Joseph Conrad. Yeah, Augusto, you always have good book recommendations. If it's going to be fiction, of course. Yeah, I feel like if I were to write a book, it would be a story about my personal journey about all of this self-development stuff. How I went from university dropout to addicted to video games, to addicted to basketball, to having no goal or ambition in life, right? To all of a sudden doing a complete 180 and just completely changing the course of the rest of my life, and just build all these positive habits and discipline and workout routines and all these things that I've sort of stumbled across in my journey, and how all of them has just bettered my life in astronomical ways. I think that's what the book would be about. And the goal would be to hopefully inspire someone, or someone from the younger generation who was like me, right? Who was just addicted to video games, who had no path or purpose in life, and that, it's never too late to find that path, right? Even later on. And even for me, I found it in my 30s, right? So hopefully buy a Tesla screwdriver. I want to buy a Tesla Model Y. So if there is one luxury item that I would buy, say if I stumbled across some money and I were to treat myself to something luxurious, the first would be some type of camera gear, or lenses, which obviously I love. But after that, I would love to support Elon Musk. I would love to buy a Tesla Model Y for my next car, or buy Starlink internet, because what's funny about Elon? Elon Musk is the first person that I've ever believed in what he's doing. I've never believed in Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs. I never believed in any of these people, any of these entrepreneurs, and what they were doing. Of course, Apple products are cool. Apple products are amazing, but I was never I never felt like I wanted to invest in Steve Jobs personally and help him achieve his vision in life. Whereas Elon, I'm like, man, this guy wants to do so many things for the betterment of the world. And it's just, that's something that I can stand behind and I want to support, because I've never given any of these people money or time or ideas or encouraging words, to help them achieve their mission, right? And it's because I've never believed in anyone or any company. And Elon is like the first person where I'm just like, man, like if I had money to spend, I would 100% support some of his products. Google about the gardener and the architect. Oh, okay, wicked. I'm gonna have like 50 Google Chrome tabs open after the stream from all the recommendations you guys are giving me. I'm gonna need some time to go over all this stuff. About the gardener and the architect. Okay, I'll check that out later. If it's going to be nonfiction, thanks, Forrest. If it's going to be nonfiction, there are ways to write it to make very, very interesting. There are forms and skills you improve with creative writing exercises. I highly recommend Poetics by Aristotle. There we go, another recommendation. Oh, I love it. Keep it coming, guys. See, this is another thing that I love about these live streams. I get to communicate with you guys in real time, and it's not just like me sharing my ideas for people to learn, but like I learn from you guys as well. Like the feedback you guys give me, the recommendations of things to read that you guys give me, like all these things help me, in my journey of figuring out what I want to learn and get better at. And if I didn't do this, right, then I would never know. I would never know to search Poetics by Aristotle. Like I've never heard of that before in my life, right? Also, creative writing is a very good way of therapy. Is this a quote about the seed thing? Oh. What? Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, you know what else about the whole creative writing thing? Especially first thing in the morning, like, because I usually wake up pretty early, regardless of what time I go to bed. But first thing in the morning, when I get like a coffee and everyone is still asleep, and I can just sit down on my computer and just write for a couple hours, it's so soothing and calming, and it's so enjoyable for me. Like that's the best way to start my day, I think. It's like when I'm fresh in the morning, I had a good night's sleep, I have a coffee, and I can just relax and just write out whatever comes to mind. Poetics is the first text about writing that we have. Aristotle recognized some patterns in the stories he read and then studied them to get its essence. The essence of the good stories. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look that up. Because right now I'm reading a book about like kind of like our history and hunter-gatherers and all this type of stuff. So I've been learning about like the old ways that people passed on information. And what's the book called? I can't remember what the book is called. Hold on, I should look it up. I'm still going through it. Let me see. Just to let you know what I'm reading. Oh, The Rational Optimist by Matt Ridley. That's what I'm reading. I'm sort of just started it. It's super long, but the part with human beings and tools and the way we learn skills and pass them on to the next generation is very interesting. I'm reading On the Road. Oh, I remember you told me about that guy. How do you say that guy's name? Jack Kerr. I don't even know how to say that. Kerr. Good luck. Can't pronounce that name. Oh, I remember you recommended this guy's books to me before. Published in 1957. Wow. That's interesting. Preceded by The Town and the City, and followed by The Subterraneans. Okay, I'll add that. I'll add that to my list. I guess it's Kerouac. Is that right? Man, I'm horrible at name pronunciation. It's okay though. Yeah, that's another goal that I set for this year, was to do a lot more reading, and to sort of broaden my understanding and broaden my mind with certain subjects. Because prior to this year, everything that I've been reading was more like self-help books, health and nutrition books, and all that type of stuff. So I've sort of been closed-minded in a sense into this one specific way of information, whereas this year I kind of want to open it up and learn different things. I recommend Scattered Poems by him. I wonder if they had... Okay, they are Scattered Poems by Jack Kerouac. Jakey Kerouac? I wonder if they had the weird kid that collects bugs back then. Yeah, probably. Like, when I imagine myself in like the hunter-gatherer age, I don't think I would survive that long. Like, I am not good at physical labor or farming or hunting or like fishing, like all these practical skills of survival. I'm horrible at. And on top of that, I have like terrible allergies. Like, I'm allergic to grass and trees and nuts and types of fish. So it's like, man, if I was alive during like the hunter-gatherer age, I'd probably not survive. If I'm being completely honest. But yeah, or maybe I would be the weird kid that collects bugs. I don't know. Maybe. It's so funny. Yeah, you somehow pronounce my name Jakey. Jakey. Oh man, it's so nice talking to you. I learn a lot about life and inspiration. Miss the streams more than I miss my old cat. Hey, thanks, Augusto. Yeah, before me and Augusto, we would when I was practicing streaming on Twitch, we'd have some great conversations in the morning. But eventually, after that experiment with streaming on Twitch, I came across this guy named Harris Heller on YouTube. I think his channel name is Alpha Gaming. He's like a big Twitch streamer. And he sort of was talking about the pros and cons and benefits of sort of streaming on YouTube, and how you can kind of, like, YouTube has actually improved their game when it comes to live streaming. And I was like, what? YouTube has live streaming? I didn't even know YouTube had live streaming, because it's nice that I don't have to have this like split audience of where I'd have to be like, hey guys on YouTube, come check out my Twitch stream on this other platform. It's like, it kind of sucks having to spread yourself across all these different platforms. So when I found out that YouTube had live streaming, I was like, wow, this is awesome. I can just like keep everything here. So like when my subscribers and people that I talk to, they'll get the notification when I'm streaming here on YouTube and not have to like direct them over to Twitch or something. So man, it's been awesome sort of streaming on YouTube. And I was streaming daily on Twitch for a while, which was a pretty good experiment. It was interesting. It helped me with my productivity. But the negative part of it was I felt like I couldn't really pay attention to the chat as much, whereas I'd be more focused on my work. And what I really enjoyed about streaming is having these conversations in the moment, like talking with Forrest or Augusto or Jakey or Tina or Ray or whoever comes by in the stream, and just, you know, just being in the moment and having a conversation with people that are willing to stop by and say hello it's amazing. And it's like, it's a lot of fun. And I think that's part of the reason why I kind of stopped streaming on Twitch, and I sort of like decided, let's just stream on YouTube. Let's just keep everything here. And I'm going to try to do at least 2 live streams per month. That's the goal for now, is just do 2. Because at the same time, I don't want to kind of oversaturate this idea. I sort of want to have like a week or 2 gaps in between streams, so that, you know, life can play its course and I can go through more life experiences, and then we can reconvene during 2 weeks later during a live stream and talk about, you know, what's been happening. You know, like Forrest will, you know, talk about what's going on on her hikes that she's going on, or Augusto can tell me something about Brazil, or any of the other people that come on by, right? And it's a fun way to communicate, I find. And it's more, I find it to be more genuine than a YouTube video, because anything I say here, like if I misspeak, or if I mess up, or if I say something wrong, like there's no way I can edit it out, right? I can't fix my mistakes. So you see me for who I am, right? And it makes me, or it puts me in this vulnerable position where I can't hide behind my editing software, right? And that's the one problem, or the one strike or thing that I kind of don't like about YouTube, is this idea of perfection, and you can just release this polished video out into the world where I never say the word or ah. You can just edit all those out, right? And there's no mistakes, and it's just kind of, it's a little disingenuous and fake in a way. I still do love it, but at the same time, right, I like that idea of being vulnerable and just being put on the spot. And it's something that has definitely made me stronger in the way I communicate with not just the internet, but even just other people in the real world. But yeah, so hopefully for example, the next live stream, which I'm planning to do on the 31st, you know, there's going to be 2 weeks will go by since today, and then, you know, a lot of things can happen in life. Like, say for example, next weekend I'm going to be going away and sort of doing, like, I guess you would call it a psychedelic journey, which is something I've been really experimenting with lately, with mushrooms. And man, I started getting into microdosing mushrooms, and the impact that it has on your creativity and writing is profound. It's like amazing. So it's, you know, it's another thing that I kind of want to explore casually and sort of, you know, learn new perspectives, right? So again, so that will happen next week. So then the week after that, I might have some, you know, cool life experiences that happened, or some interesting things that I thought about that I might not have thought about in the moment now. And, you know, it'll make the next live stream just so much more interesting. I know that's just my thought about that, and the reason why I try to space out the streams. because this is so much less work than creating a YouTube video. Like the video that I'm working on right now, I probably spent, let me see, over 10 hours shooting like B-roll shots, and spend more time looking up music and writing like a script and a storyline. Like there's so many hours that gets put into one 10-minute video. Like it could be like 60 hours for one 10-minute video, whereas something like this, oh, what is that? Hold on, let me mute this. Whoops. Getting a bunch of notifications. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but let me just mute this. But yeah, like I was saying, like 1 2-hour live stream, it takes 2 hours and that's it. You just turn on the camera and you go. And it's a lot of fun. But like making a 10-minute YouTube video that takes 30, 40, 50 hours is, oh man, it can be really stressful. If you could have a free Bitcoin or a free Tesla, what would you choose? Oh, I think 100% I would take the free Bitcoin. I think that's another technology that that I believe in, that I purchased because I wanted to support and not because I purchased to make money from. I think that's the incorrect idea that people get with Bitcoin, is that they buy it as a way to make money from it. Whereas I believe that, you know, you should buy it if you believe in the technology or you want to support the cause of having a decentralized currency, right? And unfortunately for me, I did have Bitcoin a while ago, and I was just holding on to it because it was something I believed in, because I believed in the future that the world would eventually shift towards cryptocurrencies, and I wanted to have a part of it, not to make money from it, but just because, you know, it's what I believed in. But then I got to a point where I discovered this whole filmmaking stuff, and I wanted to just, like, I was so obsessed with my whole content creation career, I guess you would say, or videography career, that I wanted to sort of like take the leap and just go all in and just invest like my time and energy and money into this whole YouTube channel stuff. And I ended up withdrawing all my Bitcoin, and I used that to buy all my camera gear. This is why I have like 2 camera bodies and a bunch of lenses that are like over there. You know, a lot of the money was because I sold my Bitcoin, and I used that to kind of start this filmmaking career. So in one sense, I do regret selling it, but on the other, it went to another cause that I also believed in, if that kind of makes sense. But could I choose any Tesla though? Because also, if you could get any free Tesla, like the Model X is like $125,000, isn't it? Like starting, like that's worth like a couple Bitcoin. Actually, that's a lot harder question than I thought. Because, okay, let's see coin market cap. What is Bitcoin market? 1 Bitcoin is what? 1 Bitcoin is $31,000. And a Model X is $125,000 starting. Oh, actually, you know what? That question's a lot harder than I thought. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Because instantly, I just thought I would just take the Bitcoin. Like instinctually, I would just take the Bitcoin and then hold on to it. But dang, you would get 4 times the value if you were to just get a Model X. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Maybe I might have to change my mind and get the Model X if I could choose any Tesla. But if it was, a Tesla of equal value, like say if you can get 1 Bitcoin or the Model 3, I would definitely take the Bitcoin. So that's how I would answer that. That's a cool question though. I like that. Because those are two things that I do believe in. But imagine if one day we just, the whole world shifts towards some type of cryptocurrency. That would be so cool. Because even here in downtown Toronto, like when you go to, what's a good example? I guess the more inner core of the city, there's a lot of shops that have like those Bitcoin machines or Bitcoin ATMs. Like I've seen them a lot. And there's a store that I used to go to called Snakes and Lattes, where I used to go and buy board games. And you could basically go there and pay to play like any board game you want and buy coffee and sit down with a bunch of people. It was actually a really cool store. And this was years ago, probably over 5 years ago. And I remember going in one time, I was looking for a board game, and I saw a Bitcoin ATM machine there, and I was like, whoa, like what is that? Like that seems so crazy. And you could literally put in like Canadian currency into the machine, and you could add Bitcoin to your wallet, like your Bitcoin wallet or crypto wallet or whatever. And I was like, man, this is like so cool, because I had only heard of Bitcoin being readily available on the internet. I had never seen like a physical machine in person before, and it just happened to see one there, and I was like, and that's when I kind of thought like, you know, this could be a real technology that we use in the future. Like this is a real thing. Like this can get serious. Like if we start having Bitcoin ATMs in all these stores that we go to, and it becomes a viable currency, like, you know, why not? Like why not use it, right? And I think that was around the time where I was okay, this is super cool. I want to kind of get in on this and support it. And that's sort of when I purchased some. But now when I look at where crypto is at, it's like, it's crazy. Like Ethereum is $1,800. When I bought Ethereum, it was $90. Like it was 90 when I bought Ethereum. ETH or ETH? Is it ETH or ETH? So it's increased 20-fold since I bought it. XRP, I think that's Ripple. It's 58 cents. That used to be 3 cents when I purchased it. So that 20x'd. So interesting. I wish I knew more about the technology though. Like I don't understand the blockchain enough to feel comfortable having a full conversation about crypto. It's something I'm interested in, but I still don't fully understand. It's sort of like the NFT stuff, the non-fungible tokens. That's another thing I purchased because I kind of believe in it. I purchased some NFTs for like the NBA stuff, and I'm kind of just holding on to those. I don't know. Do you ever listen to Paul Stamets videos? No, who's that? Let me look it up. Paul Stamets. Yo, this guy sells mushrooms? Oh, what? Is that what you call it? A mycologist? Is that the study of mushrooms? Mycology is the branch of biology concerned with the study of fungi, including their genetic and biomechanical properties. Huh. No, I never, do you mean like videos like on YouTube? Is that where this guy has stuff? Hold on, I'm super interested. Hey, I see my own thumbnail in my in my homepage. AMA 7 back from vacation. That's funny. Let me see. Oh wow, this guy was on he was on Joe Rogan. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. I missed that episode. 6 ways that mushrooms can save the world. Wow. And he did a TED Talk. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's so cool. He is a am I saying that right? Mycologist? I've never heard that word or read that word before. Mycologist. The mushroom guy. His stories are insane. Wow. That's so cool. That's so cool. You know, like mushrooms is something that I've sort of stumbled upon recently. And man, if you are a person that's never tried it before, it unfortunately has this terrible. It's lumped in with the bucket of like drugs, right? But when you use mushrooms in a responsible manner, like it is so beneficial for your mind. Like it's amazing. His stories are insane. TED Talks and his own channel and whatnot. Oh man, I gotta check it out. You know what's funny? I did a podcast once on my pod with this guy from Germany who was a psychedelic enthusiast, and we really connected on the podcast. And I think it was like the longest podcast I've ever done, and it went like over 2 hours. And because he was a psychedelic enthusiast, I took a couple mushrooms before the podcast started, and I think it was like 40 minutes in, like the effects started to take hold of me. I didn't take a lot, but I took enough to where I saw some slight hallucinations, and he had like this super colorful background in his room, and it just started moving and going all crazy, and it was wild. But it sort of opened my mind to this idea that mushrooms is sort of more like a medicine if you can use it in the right dosage. And I remember, Forrest, you told me once that you told me a quote that really resonated with me, and it was like, the dosage makes the poison. I think that's what you said. And that was just like, oh man, like that's so true, right? That's so true. It's always the overconsumption of something is what makes it toxic, right? Paul cured his own stutter. Wow, really? So this guy had a stutter? Oh, that's amazing. Okay, I'm 100% gonna have to I'm gonna have to watch this before my trip next Saturday or next week. Huh. Because normally I do like 500 milligrams, like microdosing, and when you do that on like an empty stomach, or at least for me, 500 milligrams on an empty stomach, it helps my mind think about ideas in a way that I never thought before. Like, I remember when I tried explaining this to someone once. Like, I remember once when I was writing about fitness, right? And whenever I would write, I would think about like, okay, lifting weights makes you stronger. Lifting weights gets you better in shape. And you think of these ideas in like a very linear fashion, like very straight line, where lifting weights makes you stronger, builds you a better body. Running makes your cardiovascular better, which just gives you more endurance. Like very simplistic way of thinking about things. But whenever I would like microdose on mushrooms, when I would think about fitness, my brain would come at it from all types of different angles, and I would think about subjects in ways that I would never think of before. And it would be like, oh, what if my fitness gave me a better body, which someone else saw down the street, and then it inspired them to better their life, and they got a gym membership, and they became a social media influencer in the fitness niche. Like, it went wild. I would just go on these crazy mind explorations on topics that I would never go from point A to B in that manner. Whereas on mushrooms, you kind of go from point A to C to F to G and then to B. You take this weird scenic route, and then you arrive on the answer of your thought. And it's very hard to explain. It's very bizarre, but the way it creatively opens your mind up to ideas, I think, is amazing for people that write, right? And this is something that, like I said, I write every day, right? Now, of course, this isn't something that I do every day. I just do it once in a while, but I feel like there's so much more that can be explored on this topic. And there are times where I'm kind of hesitant to talk about it because it's still viewed in a negative light, whereas, mushrooms are a psychedelic. Psychedelics are drugs. Drugs are bad. Don't do them. Like, that's a general narrative that we have in society, especially North America, right? Now Toronto and Canada is getting a bit better. We've decriminalized a lot of things. Like, marijuana is legal now, and our government is very progressive and open, to things that people can use as medicine, right? And at the end of the day, like, if alcohol is legal, you can just you can go to a beer store and buy a bottle of whiskey and just drink yourself to death. Like, anyone can just go in and do that here. Like, you have alcohol readily available everywhere you go, right? But then you talk about mushrooms, and it's like, oh no, mushrooms, it's taboo. You're trying to escape reality. And it's like, it's hard. It's kind of hard to talk about these things with the general public. And I was sort of hesitant to talk about it on my YouTube channel, mainly due to the reaction, I guess. And I sort of kept it for the podcast I did with this guy, and it ended up being one of the best conversations that I ever had on my podcast. Actually, I wonder. Let me see if I'm remembering this correctly. I'm pretty sure it went over 2 hours, because most of my podcast episodes are like an hour max. Because I usually get to an hour and then I just cut it out, because an hour is pretty long. Yeah, here. So the Bearzi podcast, episode 18 with Virgo, 2 hours and 3 minutes. Oh man. I think my insomnia gives me all that. Day 3 is the most. But the simplest things are hard to think of about. Oh, you have insomnia? How bad is your insomnia? Is it some days you don't go to sleep at all and you sleep once every 48 hours type of thing? Or is it an every day, every night you struggle with sleep? Because I used to have very mild insomnia. Very, very mild. I don't think it was severe enough or serious enough to be able to label it as insomnia. It was more like I'm too jacked up on adrenaline from video games and caffeine. That's why I'm not sleeping. So I don't think you would classify it as real insomnia. But I definitely know the struggles with falling asleep, because a lot of the time I have that too now, where my mind is kind of always racing. I have always so many ideas and things that I want to do and talk about, and there's just too much. My mind is too busy. There's too much going on in my mind at the same time that I can't unwind and just go to bed. So I don't have insomnia in any way, but I can definitely relate to the sleepless nights that some people have, right? But dang, that's tough, because because like real insomnia, like you must feel so tired the next day if you don't get like a full night's sleep. Like if I don't get a good 5 hours, like, oh man, my productivity the following morning just like hits the wall. I just kind of can't think straight. I'm not as energetic. I feel lethargic and just I feel dull almost. Since always it comes and goes. I usually sleep every second night for 4 hours. Wow. Really? Every second night for 4 hours. So in a 48-hour period, you're up for 44 hours and you sleep for 4? Dang. How do you feel? Like, don't you feel... Like, after that 4 hour sleep, like, wouldn't your mind and body just be completely exhausted? Like, I'd imagine you'd be so tired. But when it's bad, I don't sleep for 3 or 4 days and I turn evil or just numb. Oh man, 3 or 4 days? Wow. So wait, hold on. So what is that like? Is it like you're lying down in bed and then you close your eyes and your mind just won't shut off? Like, or is it you're like active, you're up and about and you're just constantly doing things? Like, I always wondered, like, yeah, that sounds so crazy, right? Like, I just feel super tired thinking about that. Because I'd imagine, like, say if you're up for 3 days, right? Like, mentally, of course, you're going to be drained. But, like, physically, like, wouldn't your body be totally exhausted? Like, I'd imagine, like, you'd have no energy to do anything. There was a time in my life I had to take anti-allergics? Anti-allergy? What is that? Like, for medicine for allergies? To sleep because they make you sleepy. Oh, they make you drowsy. But it's all right now. Yeah, I have, I used to take allergy medicine that was nighttime only, and it would make you drowsy. In the past, I've had really good memory, and it's so hard to see myself slowly be forgetful and old and tired at 32. Huh. In the past, you've had really good memory. Man, I'm trying to figure, like, I'm trying to imagine what that's like. I couldn't imagine being awake for 3 days in a row. Like, if you're awake for 3 days and you still have energy, like, you can get a lot of shit done. You can be, like, super productive. But I wonder, like, at what point does the lack of sleep pay its toll on your body, right? Like, that's what I'm concerned about. Like, is there some type of medication that helps you go to bed, or like those isn't there those herbal teas that people drink, like those late night herbal teas that are meant to kind of put you in a more relaxed state and help aid with sleep? Does that help at all? Or what about melatonin that helps regulate your circadian rhythm? Like, does that help? Because I know for me, like, even this past week coming back from vacation, my sleep schedule is all out of whack, because normally I go to bed at like 10 and I'm up at like 5, but I was sleeping at like 1 a.m. now. I was all screwed up. So like the other night I took some melatonin at 9 p.m. to reset my circadian rhythm, and then by 10 I was out. So that works pretty good for me. But then again, that doesn't really help you sleep. It just kind of helps with your internal clock. Yeah, it's that sounds tough. Shoot. Hopefully there's like something you can do that can sort of help you with it, help you with your insomnia. For me, if I pass day 3 and start day 4, I turn hyperactive before I collapse. Oh, wow. And no, they never do. Okay, so you got like real insomnia then if all those supplemental things don't help. 30 milligrams helps, but I try to take them once in a while. What about sleeping pills? Do those work? Like, or are sleeping pills dangerous for you? Because when I went to Japan, the flight was like ridiculous, like 18 hours or something crazy. So Tina got us some sleeping pills from our doctor to take on the flight. And we took them, and within like 15 minutes, we passed out each for like 8 hours. Like they worked like instantly. Hey, 2am? The art is amazing on your wall. Hey, 2am, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. That art is was an art gallery that I went to before COVID, and when I went to the art gallery and I asked them if I can record videos for my YouTube channel of their art, and they happily accepted and said, you know, feel free to do whatever. So that's where that artwork came from. It was one of the only art museums, I guess I would say, that let me record, because a lot of places they don't like to let you record. So yep, it's a family thing. My grandma had it and my mom does too. Oh, okay, so insomnia is like hereditary or inherited in your genes. Wow. Dang, like I wonder like how do you treat that? Like I have no idea. But like if your grandma had it and your mom, eight hours, wow, no, it doesn't work the same for all people. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, see, because I'm like a normal sleeper, I guess you would say, then the sleeping pill has like maximum potency. So, and I fell asleep sitting up. Like I can never sleep sitting. Like imagine sitting in a small airplane chair, right, with one of those like toilet seat pillows, you know, those pillows that look like a toilet seat that you put on your neck. So I had one of those, and I was just like sitting upright, like this. And then I took the pill, and it was like, boom, I was out. Like I was out like darkness. There was no dreams. Like there was nothing. And all of a sudden I woke up and 8 hours had passed. It was, but I remember I didn't feel super well rested though. It's almost as if I time traveled 8 hours. That's kind of what it felt like. Like I was sitting there, everything went dark. Then all of a sudden I woke up and eight hours had gone by. And I didn't really feel super rested or anything. I just felt almost the same. But when you're taking like an 18-hour flight, like passing out for 8 hours to cut the duration in half, it is huge, right? But I guess for you, in a case of insomnia, right? Because your insomnia is probably so severe, that sleeping pill dosage that worked for me, it probably has little to no effect for you. Dang. That's hard, right? But how is your grandma and your mom, like, how are they doing now? Do they just like live with it? Is it just like became normal? Because I'd imagine like you must get to a point where it just gets so annoying that you just like kind of just give into it and you just accept that this is the reality that you're living in. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, hopefully your mom and grandma are okay. So I wonder, like, what kind of effect that would play on your body, right? If your body never gets like a chance to fully rest and recover properly. See, part of my interest with this subject is not really just insomnia, but like sleep in general. I remember I was reading a book by this guy, Matthew Walker. And I can't remember what the book was called. It was like, I think it was called Why We Sleep. And he was talking about the importance of sleep and the benefits, and you know, it made me take my sleep a lot more seriously, because I'd only sleep like 5-6 hours a night, maybe at all, and I never really took it that serious. And I tried to, you know, make a concerted effort to get on like a more regular routine where I'd try to always sleep at night and be awake during the day. It's fine, it's just how life is. I just wish I slept for real though, because even when I do, I know that I'm sleeping and in what position I am in everything. Once in like 5 years I don't, and the world feels different, and when I wake up after that kind of sleep. Oh wow. Dang, that's crazy. Because even when you do, you know that you're sleeping and then what position you're in and everything. Wow. That's this is not the right word, but that's so interesting. Dang, once in 5 years. Sorry, I didn't mean to bore anyone. No, you're not boring anyone at all. I'm super interested. This is because like I've never known anyone who had like real insomnia, because I feel like some people say things like, oh yeah, I couldn't sleep, oh my insomnia, but it's like they're kind of not treating the word with respect. They're kind of just throwing it out there, because there's like real people who do suffer from insomnia because it's a real diagnosis, right? Because I always thought I had some kind of mild insomnia, but like I was just lying to myself, right? I was just overstimulating my mind all the time, and I was never giving myself a chance to wind down. But like that's like real insomnia. So like what does what does your doctor say about that? Well, I guess like your family doctor knows that your mom and your grandma have the same thing. Like, is there not a medication? What's the word? Like a prescription therapy that insomniacs go through? Like, I wonder, there must be something that would help. Like, would marijuana help you sleep? Because I know a lot of people they use marijuana for the aid in sleep that it provides, but maybe like your insomnia is too strong for any type of external medications. Yeah, I wish I knew more about the subject. I know, right? Oh, poor you. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes people, they kind of like seek out sympathy from others by overstating some type of, you know, medical emergency that they have, but they actually don't. So but yeah, the whole sleep thing is big for me too, because it's part of like my whole taking my health seriously type of thing, especially with how much I work out and exercise, that I need to get an adequate amount of sleep in order for like my body to repair itself, right? And the other thing too is like my day job that I work, it's pretty physically demanding. I'm always lifting heavy stuff, so I have to take my sleep like as seriously as I can. Well, yeah, but smoke bothers me. Okay. Yeah, the smoking thing I don't do good with either. It just always makes my lungs feel like shit after. It's just like not a good feeling. I don't know, maybe I'm not doing it right. And it's hard to find the other versions. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Like the oils and the edible versions, that type of stuff. Well, I hope you can find something. Like this is not, I'm not being sympathetic or like looking down on you in any way, but like I'm like genuinely like concerned, right? Like I hope there's something that can help you with like insomnia, right? Like it's not a funny thing. It's like it's no joke, right? Unfortunately, people kind of like just brush it off, right? But man, I really hope there's something that can at least help a little bit. I see a lot of people taking magnesium for sleeping. Not sure if it helps. Magnesium. Like magnesium supplements? I wish I knew more about this. No, it doesn't help either. Yeah, see, it sounds like you got like legit insomnia is legit. Like supplements and things like melatonin and magnesium and sleeping pills and like all these things that help aid sleep. Like if they don't work at all, like dang, that's real. Yeah, but thanks for sharing, Forrest. I find that very interesting. Hopefully you can figure out some things to improve it, or maybe you just like have come to grips with like it's kind of just life, right? Because it's like for me, I have this struggle my whole life with allergies, with like food allergies, and just not being able to eat amazing foods. And it's depressing sometimes, but I've kind of just come to grips with like that's life. That's just part of who I am. I'm not going to be able to ever eat pistachios or cashews in my life. I'm not going to be able to eat salmon or cod or any of these types of foods that I'm like deathly allergic to. It's just at the end of the day, there's some things you can't do anything about it, right? You just have to accept it. So we all have our struggles and we all have our own battles that we face. And like my horrible food allergy, maybe insomnia is that's part of your struggle in life. The irony of my life, when I was born and got slapped on the bum. That sounds funny. On the bum, to cry like all babies have to. I was too sleepy to do it, so I've been told. Oh no. That made me laugh. Got slapped on the bum. Oh man. I was too sleepy to do it. Oh man. Oh, such is life, right? We all have our own personal battles and struggles and disadvantages that we go through. See, because even like, and this sort of relates to like the mental health stuff. Like I think it's important to just, you know, be able to talk about these things, right? To have discourse on various subjects. Like if you never brought it up, like I'd have no idea, right? That someone living on the other side of the world that comes into my live streams, you know, is going through like severe insomnia, right? Like, you know, I think it's important that we talk about these things, right? Because also, like, I'm learning something in the process too, right? Because so far up until this point in my life, everyone that I've talked to that, you know, has talked about having insomnia, it was never real, right? It was never like a real thing. BRB, yeah, no worries. Oh wow, we're almost did 2 hours. Got an hour 52. Wow, that was a lot of fun. See, these are like the best. These are the type of best conversations and live streams where you sort of just get absorbed and you consume a topic or idea and you just deep dive into it. And you lose all track of time. These are like the best conversations when time just kind of flies by, when your mind is just like engaged in the conversation. So yeah, let's see. So you know what I'm gonna do for the next. So I stopped putting those polls in the community tab. In the beginning, I was doing those polls where I'd ask you guys to pick a topic, subject for the stream. Now, a big part of the reason was I was trying to gauge what type of topics you guys were interested in talking about. And also I needed help with like figuring out like a title for the stream, because the first 5 live streams that I was doing, I had no idea what I wanted to talk about, or I had no idea what other people wanted to see. So, but now I think I have a general idea, and I'll probably just come up with my own titles and general topics in the meantime. And I think the next one, maybe we'll call it mushrooms. Maybe we'll call AMA stream number 8 mushrooms, which will be on July 31st, so 2 weeks from now. So that'll be the plan. And then hopefully I have some very good stories or interesting stories that I can tell you guys. And who knows, maybe even after that I'll bring back the polls. Or maybe I'll just mix it up, you know? Like, there doesn't have to be this strict way of doing things. Maybe I'll do a poll every once in a while just to see where you guys are at and what, you know, you want to talk about. And then maybe every once in a while I'll just like kind of decide something random like this. Because in the beginning, I think I was doing 1 live stream a month and it would do like 3 hours. But I feel like 1 a month is not enough. I think at least 2 a month is good. Hey, Augusto, just vibing here. Hey, does I can't see, but does this live stream have like likes and dislikes and a comment section? Or does like or is the comment section replaced by the chat? Like, I don't know. like what's going on. Like I can see participants. I still gotta figure all this stuff out. That's the only one problem with YouTube streaming. It's not as user friendly as Twitch was. Twitch is very easy, whereas YouTube you kind of have to go into the stream and change the title every time, and then change the thumbnail, and you can and all the settings, and it gets a little messy. But I think I'm definitely going to keep doing this long term. This is a lot of fun. The only thing I'm concerned about, it's like, right now I like the intimate conversations that we have when just like a couple people show up. But what's it going to be like when more people show up? That's going to get crazy. That's going to get kind of weird. I don't know. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, Augusto, and all the recommendations for authors and books. I'll definitely check it out, especially the one from Aristotle and that Kerouac guy, whatever his name was. I'll check those out. I'll add them to my list of things to read. Oh yeah, and the Paul mushroom guy. I gotta check that out too. It's crazy that he was on Rogan's podcast 3 years ago. It was episode 1035. I need to listen to that sometime this week before I head out for my trip. All right. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the podcast shortly. You know, thanks to anyone who came by to chat. It was a lot of fun, especially thanks, Forrest, for sharing your story and some of your personal life. It was very informative, and I enjoyed it. Augusto, thanks for dropping by, bro, with the recommendations. We gotta do these more often, or at least I'm trying to. And hopefully we'll have a lot more better conversations in the future. At least that's what I'm hoping to do. I don't really have a long-term goal or plan with these live streams. I haven't really fully thought it out yet. But for now, I'm just going to keep up with the 2 a month, and let me know if I should do more. Like, is 2 a month not enough, or is 2 a month too many? Just let me know what you guys think. I value feedback from you guys. I really value your opinion, because it helps me improve as a content creator, right? And we can make these experiences a lot more enjoyable. So to anyone out there still watching, or anyone who is watching the replay of this stream, if there is a like button, hit that like button. Maybe it'll help me out. I have no idea. Who knows? And we'll do the next one July 31st, next Saturday, around the same time, 12 Eastern. And I think that's it. Just vibing here. It was awesome, bro, as usual. Yeah, Augusto, appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping by. It means a lot. Okay, I got a lot of video editing to do after this. Oh yeah, so watch out for the next video coming on Tuesday, the 20th, in a couple days. It's gonna be a good one, or at least I think it's gonna be a good one. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Have a good Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Forrest, Augusto, Tina, and everyone else who stopped by. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace, peace, peace.